Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new game we're going to be checking out here today on the channel, Tower Dominion. Now, Tower Dominion is a tower defense game, as you might infer from the title, but much like similar tower defense games that I've been playing recently, it has a kind of build your own path mechanic. But I feel that Tower Dominion sets itself apart from things like Nordhold and other games in this very, very niche wheelhouse by really leaning into the roguelike and draft nature of the formula. So every turn we'll get random choice of some towers that we might be able to place or other benefits to our general build. And so gradually you will put together a overall strategy for the run. Now, it is build on Steam as build and design the terrain while defending your stronghold against alien invasion in this unique roguelike tower defense. Choose from 30 heroes, survive enemy waves, and upgrade a variety of defensive towers to hold the line. It came out on the 8th of May and is developed by Parallel 45 Games, and as always, it is easier to show than to describe, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into a new game. Now, I took the liberty of playing like 2 games on each field. I think I actually might have played 3 on this one, just to get an idea, because each of these maps has a very different gimmick to it. You start off the game, I believe, with only these 2 characters unlocked, and you have to play as the Iron Dragoons, but then through play, you kind of unlock meta progression, unlocking heroes and unlocking access to the different maps. We're going to start things off, though, with the Iron Dragoons and just go in on this one a little bit easier. As you progress, you unlock difficulty, and I believe this is a similar concept to the difficulty bump with Rogue Tower, where the higher the difficulty, the more lines, the more battlefronts lead to your central defense location. So you're having to defend more actual routes to the base, which does stretch your resources quite thin. So I quite like this as a difficulty mechanic. Now, Iron Dragoons. The strategists of the 14th follow the precepts of overwhelming force and focused firepower. Lacking the genius of Ekrina, they just send wave after wave until victory. We've got 3 generals unlocked. I'll come back to those in a moment, but I want to give you a quick overview of the other 2 maps as well, and we might even get to those later in the episode, time willing. The Lions of Revelsky. Proud and glorious warriors, the 8th Armored has the best training, the best equipment, and genetically modified super soldiers. Blazing Commanders is the perk that all of the Lions share. The commander will personally fight on the battlefield, whereas the Iron Dragoons' overwhelming force. Every 8 seconds will send grenadiers in a charge towards the enemy from the main bunker. And then we've got the Pagan Assault Group. Let's have a look at you. The 24th Cavalry prides itself as the most advanced and competent regiment in the cohort. They prefer a tactical approach to the traditional blazing bayonet charges. I believe, do they all have the same thing? Yeah, Shock Troops starts with 20 recon production. That's actually quite good, though it won't make as much sense until we dive in on this one. And Tactical Force. Headquarters have unique options to tailor your force. So all of them have this. Oh, that right. Okay, the second one isn't actually set on the character, but this is just the faction itself. Impregnable Fortress. The headquarters is a powerful combat building, whereas over here, Noble Houses gain double the amount of blueprints in reinforcements. Reinforcements phase takes place at the end of each wave. It offers doctrines, blueprints, and resources. This is the kind of the draft mechanic. But as I said, we're going to be starting over here with the Iron Dragoons, and if by the end of this episode you've enjoyed what you've seen and would like to see a little bit more, then do let me know down in the comments below, or perhaps by massaging those lovely buttons, and we may actually jump into this with a couple more games. Depending on time, we might see a couple of the other maps as well just in this episode, but this is definitely a game that has that Moorish quality that good roguelikes need to have. Now, we can either go with Commissar Anicia. On the field, the commander spawns with each charge. Extreme Combat Doctrine, +1 Grenadier production every other wave. We could go with Warden Gerhardt. Anti-tank warfare. Buildings that are adjacent to at least 1 Myriador gain 15% damage. And Grim Overwatch starts with 5 Myriadors. Or Sergeant Gertag. Sectorial domination. Headquarters has +1 range, +20% damage, HP, and 10% repair. Oh, that's actually quite good. The HP having any degree of percentage repair per wave is, well, obviously quite amazing for a game where the whole objective is not to lose your headquarters. Personal turret. Gertag's turret on top of the HQ increases damage of the HQ each wave. Oh, so it's scaling as well. Well, we're going to go in on the easiest difficulty for now, but if we do have time for more, then we'll be just going over whichever difficulty we have the highest on and probably losing as a consequence. I have so far had a just slightly better than 50% win-loss ratio. I am a little bit ashamed to say, but let's go ahead and jump in. Right, zone expansion. The new zone to be placed to expand the path. We've got a corner section here. We can re-roll it for 25 recon, but right now we don't produce recon. We've got supply over here, and that is how we will place most of our units. As you can see down here, the Miriador, Sturdy Bunker, and Officers' Headquarters are all available to me, but they cost a varying amount of supplies. We do generate this. We also have tech, a rare resource. Use it wisely. I don't know if there's any way to get more of this, so it is very much something you should spend very sparingly. These are the Grenadiers, the number of Grenadiers that will spawn each charge. We've got various things. We can see building upgrade levels, so on and so forth. All buildings do have 3 upgrade levels, down branching paths, and over here we can see the threat report. The final wave is wave 25, and at wave 10 and wave 20 we will unlock new units. The current units that we're going to be seeing, can I actually get any further information about these? These are probably just bog standard, they follow the path. These ones are high altitude, fly directly to the headquarters, and air unit. Minus 50% damage taken from regular weapons noted. Right, well, well, if something's going to take a direct route to the headquarters, one of the things with this game that is a little bit not standard. I mean, we're fairly used to seeing paths like this. I'm just going to go ahead and place this down and I'll explain why. This is an entry point. The more entry points you have, you've got a branching path, and very similar with other tower defense games in this kind of genre, build your own path genre. With branching paths, the spawn wave will be split between the entrances. However, this game also has a concept of battlefronts. Right now, this entire thing is one battlefront because it's all going to go down to this side. Right now, I don't think there is a way that we could have 2 battlefronts, but effectively, for every path leading to the headquarters, assuming that it isn't merging with another path, they are distinct battlefronts, and those are distinct from entry points, and it's a point that is worth remembering as it can have some effect on the way buildings perform. Right, Miriador. The Miriador is a simple and effective. It can be equipped with detect camouflaged foes or support the headquarters. The Sturdy Bunker, a single heavy Vencedor with a limited field of fire. Heavy Vencedor, and it can be upgraded to a Reaper cannon. And over here, the officers' headquarters to train unique staff members and commissioned officers. I think we're going to just go with a bog standard something to kill the bad guys to start off with, though. Depending on where we want to put this, we've got height advantages, and it shows you how that will affect the overall range. But I think maybe something over here is possibly one of the better ones. It gets a good view down there as well, and maybe we could even have something over there in time, or maybe just 2 of these. Sure, let's go ahead and place that down. Now, in terms of the upgrades, when you start the game, a lot of the upgrades are locked behind meta progression. At this point, for at least the building that I have placed in the past, we do have the upgrade tree unlocked, but you only get one choice. It's one of 2, but they always lead to the same branching choice again on each level. So depending on your knowledge of where this is going to go and how much supplies you've got, you might want certain buildings to be upgraded in different ways. Each building is unique. That is to say, any upgrades I place on this single sturdy bunker are only applied to this single sturdy bunker, so I could have several with different upgrades if that's something I wanted to do. Right now, this should be okay. With a decent rate of fire, solid damage, and inbuilt anti-air targeting, the heavy Vencedor is the backbone of any defense line. Plus 50% damage against air units, which is actually quite nice. And it has a target priority of closest to HQ. I don't know if there's any way of me changing that, which is a little bit of a potch, but oh well. Over here, we've got a... we can actually zoom right in if we want to, by the way, and we can even rotate it around. It's actually quite nice. We can see our commander there on the bunker over there. But over here, we've got the Mirador. Now, we can immediately start upgrading this if we particularly wanted to, but I've got enough to place another one, so I think that's probably what I'm going to do. This would give us gain detection, but it would also give an extra weapon, and technically speaking, that extra weapon is cheaper. So literally, I would double the firepower of this weapon, or I could gain 50% extra damage and rate of fire, +1 range, or 2 if it's at height 0. Do I need +1 range? No, I can hit everything all the way up to the HQ from here. So I think gaining detection and adding an extra defender would be the way to go. And you can see now there are 2 people over there, and there's a little detector item there. And this unlocks down here. If I want to go for better reload speed and an extra weapon, I could for 140, or I could save up a lot and I'd get extra range and 200% extra damage. We can see what these are, but we'll get to those later. All right, let's send the wave and see how this goes. There are grenadiers there. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that I have much granality over the zoom, whereas I have quite a lot of granality over the rotation. Right, next, wave 1 exterminated reinforcements. Choose a bundle. Simple stock. When you have only 1 warwolf position, 10 recon production. We don't have any warwolves yet, so that wouldn't help, but we could definitely go for that. That would actually be useful. An Imperial Barracks. A barrage LMG at each corner fires on enemies, and underground barracks accommodates extra grenadiers. That actually might be quite nice. We could go over here and get Mirador efficiency, plus 10% damage, rate of fire, and reload speed, which is very nice. Or we could get an extra sturdy bunker and a platform. The platform increases the height by 1 and can be built upon. And you can stack platforms up to a certain height bonus. I think it caps out at 3, I think. I'm tempted to go for the extra sturdy bunker, though. So that is quite nice. And this would be very nice eventually, because recon is extremely useful for a lot of things. There are some towers that are only built with recon, like scout towers, and also this can be used to re-roll the tile when I'm placing one. I'm going to play for the long game, and we're going to grab the potential recon production in the future. But right now, there's not a lot to do. It's going to be a little while before we get the next tile placement, so instead we can have a look over here. Now I could go for better rate of fire. I could get for each adjacent sturdy bunker plus 50 damage and rate of fire, or we can have scout around, see any potential locations to play this. Right now there are none. There are none that I could fit it into anyway, and I can't even showcase its firing lines, but obviously at the back here is the weakest part. You don't get as much vision there. You kind of want these sides facing toward the lane, and we've got no good choice for that right now. So this is probably going to stay in reserve until we've built out a little bit, but I don't see any reason to change anything else up unless I really want to go for logistic support. Plus 25% reload speed isn't bad. Yeah, sure, we'll go for that. Now, later down, we can get plus 50% rate of fire and an extra weapon, or close support. If adjacent to the HQ gains plus 30% HP, plus 15% damage, repair 5% HP per wave. Might be worth building a couple of these over here then for that bonus to the tower eventually. We'll see how that goes. Wow, that gun is amazing. You can have a look at the damage stats at the end of the wave as well, which is actually quite nice. Oh, plus 50 recon right here. That might be worth it, though. This would give me extra supply. Damage, rate of fire, and reload speed for the sturdy bunkers, though, I think is where we're going to be going. I will pick up that early recon resource. And here we go. We might be using that early recon resource because I dislike this many branches. That being said, it does give us a really good placement for the eventual Imperial Barracks. Ooh, I quite like that, actually. All right, so thinking strategically here, as always you should, or at least when you're playing a strategic game. I would like to put the strongest unit here, because I happen to know that the range is going to be kind of ballooning out or blossoming out from these nodes. which means I would have more over here, and over here. But this path would also be within range of this Myriador. So I'd be able to double down a little bit if I expanded this path out. Enemies would have to approach from a significantly more arduous path and withering fire from multiple buildings. So that's, I think, what we're going to go for. I'm going to keep the recon because we don't have recon production yet. And so I'm going to treat it as a very, very scarce and precious resource. But let's go ahead and place this down. Now, there is a chance that you might get some additional neutral buildings, which are always worth building on if you have the chance. We don't here, unfortunately, but that should be fine. Right, let's have a look over here, because the HQ itself has some upgrades. Right now, it's generating grenadiers. They did 100 damage last wave, but the dual Durendal cannon did 823 damage. In total, 923 came from this building alone. Over here, 78, and over here, 503. Very nice indeed. In terms of the upgrades, I could add 4 heavy weapon slots, or I could give my infantry greater durability. And I think I might actually lean into the infantry build here. We'll see how that goes. But I want to save up to get the Imperial Barrack on the next wave, so let's just go ahead and let things move through. Here they come. We're seeing some more units. They will take a random path as they go, but we're going to get out some more infantry as we go. And the more HP, the more they can survive encountering the enemy. Right, okay, we've got a scout hideout here, and tight ranks. Buildings adjacent to 4 other buildings gain 20% damage. That actually might be something we could build into. There we are. Warwolf position, though. This will give us recon production. The scout building requires recon to be built, but I think it has to be the Warwolf position. Launches a cannon shell at great distance. The explosion is a bit weak against strong foes, but makes short work of packs of weak targets. Let's go ahead and grab that, and that is now... They are both equal cost. Shame. But I definitely want this. It's not in the best position here, though. This would have good attack on anything coming through on this side, and then would pick up again on that side. Whereas if I place this here, it kind of misses a lot of potential. This one might be a good play eventually, especially as I build out in that direction. It would have a lot of time to saturate enemies as they approach. This one has that, though, as well. The only real issue is this little corner here, and I think that should be okay. Yeah, I think that will be okay. Let's go ahead and anchor that down. That has now given us recon production, which is very good. Let's have a look at the upgrades we've got here. Plus 30% rate of fire and reload speed, doubles if at height 0. Or plus 75% damage and plus 1 range, so even better moving forward. I'll have a look at the others as time permits, but for now that's a pretty solid beginning. Right, okay, let's start the next wave. Now we can speed up time if we particularly want to. You can also see the various upgrade levels. I can see that this one is upgrade level 2 and all of these are at 0. We're making still very short work of our opponents. No threat yet, so I'm going to just save up. Durendal, a single powerful Durendal cannon, great range, strong explosions. We don't want another Warwolf. Solid foundations, HQ plus 25% HP. That's not too bad, and another light mortar isn't a terrible thing, but you know what, sure, we'll pick that up. Right, now this is perfect. We've got a straight path, which we could just go ahead and place down here. Oh, actually, no, it's a T-junction. My apologies. Still, I wouldn't mind. I was going to say if it's just branching in that direction, then I'll put it on this side so that I encourage enemies within range of my other buildings, but we're going to have to place it down here. You'll notice it will prevent you from placing something in an invalid way. You can't have a path just dead end. So let's go ahead and pop that down there. It's the obvious choice for us. And we're going to be saving up just a little bit more to get the Imperial Barracks over here. But you should have plenty of time to really saturate the enemies over there. And they'll even start taking damage as they start moving through here, which is actually quite nice. All right, let's go ahead and send the wave. There we go. Now, what do you target prioritize? Closest to HQ. I'm fine with that. Right now, we're not doing too badly with the air opponents, but they can now spawn from over here, so we probably do need to worry about that a little bit. Right, well done. That being said, we've now got a Puma. A lot of these towers, by the way, are unlocked by meta progress. For example, the Bastion is something that I unlocked only very recently. We're not going to need this because we don't intend to place any more Warwolves down. The platform is tempting, though, and there's no particular reason to not choose this if this was the very best and the thing I needed, even if this wasn't useful to me. But the Puma is quite nice. It's quite expensive, but a simple but powerful anti-air defense. 50% damage against air units. And the Bastion, a 4 fixed heavy Vencedors all around the Bastion, shoot in all directions. Do I have a good place for that? No, but if I had something like this with 4 ways in, it would be an amazing one to place there. And I could still do that, but I think I will hold off. We're not going to be going for the Bastion. I think we'll get another Imperial Barrack and Puma position, actually. All right. Now, have we seen any attacks actually reach the HQ? No, not yet. So I'm not going to worry about that one too much for now. And instead, we're finally going to make good on placing this down. And that's got an amazing range over there. Perfect. All right, let's have a quick look in here. So many small weapons will add some extra guns. It'll give you an idea of the range on that. So it would help us to cover this little area back there and give extra firepower on things moving through here. Or a secondary barrack. +2 grenadier production. 3 if it's adjacent to at least 1 sturdy bunker. And since I can see 1, 2, 3 points where I could add a sturdy bunker, I think that is definitely something that we're going to be going down. Again, I'd kind of like to focus on our infantry where we can. Though the infantry do struggle with branching paths, and that's something that we're going to have to pay attention to. But okay, let's just see how this works. Lots of incoming firepower. The air enemies are a little bit of a concern, but it seems our commander cannon is doing a good job of taking those down. Doesn't look like the grenadiers are able to engage on any level with their current weapons. Maybe that's something that we can change. On reroll, gain 75 supply. That would encourage us to reroll, and we do now have the ability to do that a little bit more. Plus 20% supply production. Ooh. That is very nice. Hulky Fortress. An extra 2,000. Wow, okay. Plus a scout. And considering the scout is something I would like to be able to spend my recon on. Oh, all of these are really good. All of these are really good. I would like this, though, but plus 20% supply, I'm not sure I can pass it up. But likewise, this would give us a lot of survivability later on when we start seeing much tougher enemies who will do a lot more damage if they get close. Honestly, it's between these two. I mean, those are nice, but I'm going to go for the scout because we can upgrade that a little bit later. Now, in terms of the corners here, that's actually quite nice. I can start moving things around a little bit, or perhaps even away. I could even have these, you can absolutely bring these in together, thus meaning that all enemies will have to come from that direction. Or alternatively, I could do something like that over here, and I could have the enemies filtering through. There's quite a lot of things, but I think we're going to go here because that will maximize the output of our Warwolf, I think. So let's go ahead and pop... Ooh, we've got a neutral building. Okay, let's have a look at you. Plus 5 recon production if it's activated. But it doesn't get better the more things are activating. It's just if you build anything next to it, place a building adjacent to this structure, it will work. But let's have a look at how that has changed things. That is glorious. That is glorious. Okay, I'm very happy with that. We could go ahead and put a scout hideout down here, but this looks like a brilliant place for a bunker there. Scout hideouts. Stealth units can set up a hideout using recon instead of supply. The snipers have detection, can fire on camouflaged units, and can even eventually be used to set down mines. And as such, I think placing it over here, as much as I've got other units here already, I think it makes a lot of sense to do. Let's go ahead and pop you up here so you've got good vision down on these areas. If we have a look in here, I can spend 55 recon to get extra 2 weapons, so it'll double the amount, or I can give her an extra point of range. I don't think we really need the range. And down here we can go for a mine launcher, or I can give plus 5% damage per activated neutral building, depending on how many neutral buildings we've got by the time that I'm ready. I might go for that. The mine launcher is quite nice though, I'm going to be honest. But down here, plus 2 range and targets are slowed, or plus 3 range. While this building has no adjacent buildings, it gains 50 damage and rate of fire. Oh, so for building lone scout outposts. I kind of like that idea. I do. But what I would very much like to do is get another Imperial barrack down here to activate this building. And we can do that next turn if we want to. That being said, I could place down the officers' quarters right now. And if we're serious about wanting to upgrade our infantry, it might be time to do that. No, I think we will hold off and we will place 1 Imperial barrack first, but then we will go for trying to get, honestly, some more heavy bunkers so that I can add a little bit more punch to those, to my grenadiers. Add more grenadiers to single charge would be quite nice. And I keep forgetting to check on the damage output. I'll do that this turn. Ooh, double platform. Not bad. Actually, not bad. Loads of supply and a lowered cost here. Ooh. Both of these are actually quite good. We'll go with the supply, I think. Right, new threat spotted. So 2 waves ahead, we have found out. We've got a tunneler. Creates a tunnel entrance at each threat level from which non-flying regular foes can attack. And Medicris. It's an air unit, but unlike this one, it doesn't have high altitude, so it does have to follow the path, but it is considered an air unit for the sake of reduced damage. Right, let's have a look over here. 589, 228, 949, 519, 534, and of course, absolutely staggering amounts of damage coming out of there. All right, okay, I quite like that, but we are going to go ahead and place you down here. It doesn't have quite as much benefit as the others do because of the much lower area that we've placed that on. Still, I quite like it. It should help out. And this is now active, so we're getting a little bit of extra recon to boot. At this point, I think we're just going to go ahead and upgrade the amount of weapons. That is pretty fantastic. I am strongly favoring the mine launcher, though, as our next weapon. That is probably where we're going to be going. I would also like a Puma down here. Maybe on this tile. Or maybe just here, just to defend this area. That would allow me then to place down Myriadors over here and upgrade them to make the base even stronger. We'll see. A lot of the game comes from planning ahead, and obviously you only get that after you've played a little bit and experienced some of the types of buildings and the upgrades that you might have. But even from like after the first game, I found that I had enough knowledge to really start strategizing further and further onwards. This one actually wouldn't be too bad, but I have to take the sturdy bunker. It's nice and all, and that would be good, but the sturdy bunker has far more oomph for us. Now, speaking of oomph, where would I like our enemies to approach from? I am thinking of just cornering that one. So let's go ahead and place this down. I don't have enough recon to reroll, but that's fine. Right, at this stage, it behooves me to place another sturdy bunker. And I'm thinking very much over here. It won't have the best coverage, certainly. I could put one down here, though. I would have marginally more. I placed it, yeah, no, they're all more or less the same, unfortunately. I could use some positions to upgrade the height, perhaps. Maybe some platforms around there, or even platforms over here in time. But we are going to place this one down here. I'm going to invest fairly heavily. We're going to go immediately with the secondary barrack, which is going to give us an extra 3 grenadiers, which is a pretty strong move there. I don't think I'm going to have a second sturdy bunker, so just increasing the rate of fire and reload speed seems pretty solid there. That was a chunky investment, I know, but hopefully it will work out quite well. Now, Only one more wave until we see our next foes showing up. I would like the Puma position over here before then to deal with these, or just a Myriador. Honestly, would work. We do get some supply from all of the enemies we kill as well. It isn't just this, but recon, the only way we get that is by specifically building to have it. 200 supply and a salamander position. Convert height range bonus into damage. A fixed flamethrower. Now that is very tempting, especially with the supply. 2 Myriadors, also very tempting. Better damage rate of fire and reload speed on our scout. Also, all of these are pretty good, I'm going to be honest. But I'm going to go with the salamander. Let's go ahead and pick you up. Now, here they come. Here are the opponents. Very well. Now, I have to place this down because it's got a nest. And I do not believe that I have any option on how to upgrade this one. So, with that done, let's go ahead and place it all the way over here. This way, because all of the entry points are where enemies can spawn from, including flyers. I don't want to place it too far out from all my other weapons, thus encouraging flyers to take that route. I think over here should be good, especially if I eventually get something there to cover maybe a little path that leads down in this direction. Well, possibly. I'm not entirely certain on that one yet, but actually no, let's build it on this side instead. We'll see how that one goes. Right, but I can place down a Puma position, and I think it's probably time for me to care about that. We can have you over here. That'll give me some good coverage. Pumas are just amazing anti-air specialists. So this weapon, same strength as the Barrage LMG, strong against swarms and air targets, with twice the damage. It is an anti-air unit, so plus damage against air units themselves. Anti-air design, 50%, another 50% anti-air damage. And it gives it the target priority of air units, which is very nice indeed. This is currently the target priority fastest unit. Or I could just increase the damage. But since I'm only putting this there to help with air attacks, I think that's what I'm going to be going for. Now, these enemies down here have shield. As you might imagine, we need to punch through the shield before we can get to anything else. Thankfully, they don't provide the shield to anything else as far as I'm aware. It just protects them, gives them an extra health bar, effectively. Right, here we go. Getting a little closer than I'd like. I won't lie. But nothing terrible yet. Right. A Warwolf, that isn't useful. The platform is heavy guns. HQ gains plus 10% damage and HP. Plus 3 grenadier production. Oh, that's hard to say no to. Okay, we're going to pick that up. We will pick that up. And we've got a corner over here. Very nice indeed. All right. I'm thinking of adding this in here, and if I can get another corner, then I've completely isolated this path, and I don't need to worry about it too much. That being said, I could just send this further out. I'll leave this open because a T-junction could fit in there, if I decide that that's going to work out for me. Let's have a look. Ooh, we've got another item. The Oreo Spectrum. Advanced data. Adjacent buildings gain 50% damage against shield and anti-air units. Oh, that's a shame it's all the way over here. Not going to be that useful for me, I'm going to be honest with you. That is a shame. Now, the Salamander. I believe it is a 2-tile unit. And right there would be glorious. We can have a look at that. And I could always have the Bastion down here. We can have a look. 1,400 there. Not a bad amount here either. But I do want to go for the barracks there. Next turn we can start dropping mines, which I think is what I'm going to be going with. That being said, we've got 2 neutral buildings now. And this does cost less. No, I think we're going to continue with our current plan, our current objective. Do I want to go for extra HP infantry? 5 discovery. I'm actually not sure what that is. What that would give us. Company lieutenant, quartermaster, and standard bearer per charge. That's actually very nice. We're still holding the line relatively well for now, so I'm going to continue just making our way through the waves. We'll see how things go. But this doesn't give us any particular advantage unless I'm trying to go with this this upgrade path for the scout. So I'm not going to worry about this one too much. Honestly, there's not much coming from this side anyway, so maybe I shouldn't be too worried about just closing that off. It's not really resulting in much anyhow. Lower costs, better on the wharf position, better for the Puma, lots of supplies. However, increasing the Puma, and on top of that, we get to add one of these. I think we've got to. I would have loved it if I'd had the opportunity to place a elevated tower over here, but we don't have that. So there's no point in me wishing for it. HQ, HP, and damage 10%, double if adjacent. Now that one requires tech down there, interestingly. That is not something we're going to be getting to anytime soon, as that would... Well, actually, that being said, increasing the range on this wouldn't be a terrible idea. Maybe we could get to that and spend the tech on it. Likewise down here. Get loads more grenadiers. We're up to 14 right now. Yeah, okay. Send the wave. Now, one other thing is if I do close this off, my grenadiers are more or less always going to take this path. I will always have the enemies coming from this side, and the grenadiers will always go down that side, which removes some of the potential confusion as they're navigating these paths. Oh, that goes quite well. We've got enormous bayonet charges. I like it. Platforms, lower cost, sturdy bunker, extra Puma, bastion and platform, I think are where we're going to go. Yeah, let's grab an extra bastion and platform. Okay, it has actually given us quite a messy connection point. I'm not a huge fan. I might, in fact, spend... Yeah, there we go. I'll spend a little bit to re-roll. There we are. This side is now closed off. We don't need to worry about anything going on that side any longer. As for you, very much doubt I'm going to be building anything else here, so just increasing your fire rate. Fire rate and reload speed seems reasonable, but I really would like to build up to the salamander. So I'm going to... I know it's a little bit less interesting, but we're going to build up to that. I think once we've got that in position, it might even be a case that we don't even need to worry about it now. We've got so much concentration on where the opponents are going to come from. Oh, you still go this way? Well, that is more than a little frustrating. I was assuming you would always take... Oh. Because some of the enemy are going this way. How curious. How very, very curious. What? They're going the long way round. Okay, all right. I was not expecting that. I will be honest with you. Wasn't expecting that at all. Okay, I guess. Right, it can only be built at height 0. A trench for 3 soldiers armed with protector M2s. Sure, and reducing the sturdy bunker costs. I mean, what better place to place this? Sure. Wasn't really what I was expecting to do, but we'll do it. Let's have a look at this. This is the first time I've actually placed this one. I can add more people in here, or more weapons, +1 range. I don't think we really need the range, but this will give +10 infantry HP. Sure, let's upgrade that. More infantry HP. +50% damage. I think we go with the infantry HP. I know I was saving up, but damn it, this is amazing. +10% damage per entry point. Targets are slowed. Okay, that is really tempting then. Exceptionally tempting. For now, we're going to go with the mine layers, though. Let's get that popped in, and we will also go with the slowing bullets here. The mine launcher launches landmines, staying on the ground until the end of each wave. Explodes in a large radius, dealing heavy damage. Mines are triggered by camouflaged foes. Okay, well, that's very, very nice. Let's have a look at the weapon that you're currently using. Basic weak rifle. Target priority, lowest HP. Makes sense if you got a weak rifle. Makes a lot of sense if you got a weak rifle. All right. Well, that was not what I was expecting, but I do kind of like it. I do. I think I'll also be placing that and a bastion at some point, but I would very much like to get up to the point of having more infantry. I would like to see how much extra HP our infantry has now. Oh, they've decided to go this way this time. They're actually weathering quite a lot of fire before they go down. All right, that's quite good. Got a lot of firepower happening here. If we can get a slow in there as well, especially if we can get a flamethrower here, it's going to be amazing. Reducing the cost there or increasing the damage, rate of fire, and reload speed of our Imperial barracks. I think it has to be this. Realistically, we're going to go ahead and lock that in. Another... Wow, it just wants all of the input points all of the time. Okay. Well, that does kind of build into this. Plus 10% damage per entry point. And that's not Battlefront, it's entry point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 70% extra damage. I think we will actually go with that. That'll be one of the rare ones that we take, even though I could instead invest in infantry HP. I think that will be one of the options here. I'm going to continue saving for the Salamander. Though, we're on wave 50. Yeah, we've got plenty of time. We'll go for that. I am seeing some of the enemy getting quite far down here, though, which is a bit of a worry. I'm not going to lie. What is our current priority with this? Full HP and closest to HQ. Oh, interesting. Interesting, okay. Quite interesting there. And this is, yeah, still very much lowest HP. All right. Well, I'm liking the infantry charge. You're doing very, very well so far. Building all the way up to having an extra 10 will be bonkers. All right. Okay, we've got some big choices here. Another platform would allow me to place down 2 and thus get my Salamander even higher. And considering the Salamander builds damage based on height, that makes a lot of sense. But an ammo depot enhances adjacent buildings. It can also have a mine launcher. If I placed it here, I could buff this and that. I don't think... I could place it there, I suppose, but it wouldn't be the best use. Place it there, maybe. The ammo depot. This is the first time we've seen it where we've seen platforms plenty. I think we pick up the ammo depot and plan for later, effectively. Yeah, I think that's the best choice. We're still not really struggling right now. Have there been any more neutral buildings? There are not. That's a bit of a shame. All right. Well, I'm going to start speeding things along now. I'm fairly confident, based on what we've been seeing, that our units are doing okay. Mind you, some of the shielded units are getting a bit further through that area than I would like. Oh, there we go. So we'll immediately pick that up. Right. We've got a link here. Or I could place it there. Down here, perhaps. I think we'll pop it there. There we go. All right. At this stage, we now have enough for the Salamander. And we have the 2 platforms I want. So one there, one here. By the way, these can be used alongside any elevation. So placing it there would have allowed me to place the Salamander in that direction if I particularly wanted to. But what I would really like... Oh. Well, still, I think it gives me enough coverage. Let's place it there. Right, liquid beam. So heavy flamer. With its dense flames, the heavy flamer has unparalleled area of effect capabilities. Target priority, most HP. I like it. More damage or less targets, but greater damage. No, I'm okay with this, I think. Adjacent claymores and pumas gain +2 range. Or plus 50% damage per adjacent building. Those buildings get minus 75% rate of fire. That's unfortunate. That's not a great one for us. And then adjacent buildings gain -1 range, plus 20% damage, and minus 20% cost. And sticky flames. Targets are slowed. Really going for all of the slowing abilities, I think, are genuinely good. And we could stick down, well, I guess the ammo depot wouldn't necessarily matter here. It's not going to have a negative effect on this. I mean, that's not a bad upgrade, I don't think. As for us down here, it has to be this one. Yeah, let's grab that. Plus 10% damage per entry point is huge for us. And then we'll grab the extra range and slow there. But at this point, I want the officer's quarters now. That's where I would like to take things. Slow it down just a little. Oh, of course, yeah. Now the air units are going to make their move across that direction. Lots of slowing happening here. Very good. The flamer is doing an amazing job. Absolutely wonderful. That changed things up completely. 5,000 damage. Why am I surprised that a flamethrower would do a lot of damage? And yet here I am, being surprised. Right, let's have a look at the next wave. We're going to have Mukos. It's a dividing horror. Divides into 3 Mimokos on death. Those. And Krilo, high altitude. Fly directly to the headquarters. Okay, we definitely need to upgrade our Puma then. That is a must-do thing. We've got a couple of turns before we need to worry about it, though. So I'm going to actually hold off on that. For the now, though, let's go ahead and... Oh, wait. We do have a new building. What are you? Plus 50 percent, plus 50 supply production. That is perfect. I can place this down here. It doesn't particularly matter. As long as I've got it there. It wasn't per building next to it or anything like that. So yeah, that's fine. We're now getting extra supplies. That is huge. Right, okay, so I can get extra recon production if I build this, but honestly, there's no reason to. Instead, I'm going to put a chaplain per charge. Infantry HP increased by 15. Go. Next, gain 1 blueprint amongst 3 times, so it basically generates 3 drafts, or plus 25% infantry HP and 1 field medic per charge. Of course we're going with that. All HQ weapons, plus 50% rate of fire, plus 1 range. HQ gains 200% HP and repairs 15% HP per wave. That is amazing. But the company bugler, I really hope that this actually adds buglers to the charge, because if not, I'm going to be so disappointed. I want to hear the bugles. All right, let's send the wave. Now, what would be good if I could get another one of these and oh, look at them go. It's amazing. Oh, they're dead. They didn't last very long. That's fine. They're still doing well. It is quite a large charge, to be fair. Yeah, barely anything is getting down here now. That is glorious. And it's wave 20 that we need to worry about. Buildings adjacent to 4 other buildings gain 20% damage, or... Oh, it has to be this. The Salamander position efficiency. Yeah, we'll pick that one up. We've got a path down here. I would like to re-roll if I could. Can I get a corner? Oh, it's expensive. No, I cannot. My sadness is immeasurable. Okay. Well, I'm going to place this down here then. What I want to do is a corner over there. Just to ensure that this got a little bit more use out of it. But this is added extra entry points, so they're getting even more capable now, which is amazing. Next wave is the wave we need to worry about. We've got a fair old bit to invest, so we're going to get a bugler. There we go. You can bugle. We'll increase infantry HP with the next one. Let's actually have a look at this. So, field medic, they did actually quite a lot of damage. The company bugler, you haven't done anything yet, but the grenadier is doing a fair old bit. Yeah, considering the weapon basically didn't get a showing at all. Right. Off they go. There's the bugler. Wow, you went out straight away. Straight ahead of the charge. Oh, that crossroads though, that was disgusting. That was so bad. Nevertheless, we've got lots more units like that. We're just going to keep throwing bodies at the problem until the problem goes away. But this is now fully upgraded, which I'm very happy with. I want to get these upgraded where possible, but getting down there is very important. An electric arc cannon is a tier 3 blueprint, and the salamander gets a bonus, or more supply, and a Slovenk howitzer. 3 tiles, though. Launches a powerful shell at a very long range. The Slovenk howitzer is so heavy that it has to be mounted on rails, limiting its field of fire to the direction in which it is placed. Do we have anywhere where we should make use of that? If we had one platform, maybe there. Or the electric arc cannon, a unique weapon sporting 4 directional generators. Its electric arc increases in intensity the longer it shoots at the same target. Now that is a 3x3 for all intents and purposes. And I also don't have anywhere that I could put that. I would need way too many platforms to... Well, yeah, I'd need 4 platforms to make it work over here. Granted, I'd only need 2 here. Maybe. The salamander increase is really what I'm looking at there. Yeah, we're going to get the salamander increase. Right, here they come. This is the wave. Now, again, we've got a lot of potential down here. I really, really would have loved if I could have had a corner there. And that was why I wanted the corners, to reduce where the enemies could just spawn at. But we didn't get that. Oh, well. I will place you over there instead. Got a new burrow there. Right. At this point, I would like to get you anti-air protection. +1 range wouldn't be terrible, but more damage for the anti-air, and then replaces the weapon with a stronger anti-air weapon, or way more range and damage. Let's go with this one. I want to check this out. The most advanced of the barrel series, the quad barrage vaporizes swarms and air targets with ease. Air and the closest to HQ. I will almost certainly be doing another Puma over here with exactly the same setup, I think. Other than that, what are we looking for here? Probably going for the cheaper of these upgrades. Yeah. All right. Let's click in and see how this goes. Right, we've got these chonky boys over there. It'll be a bit of a problem, but it's okay. So much flaming. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, thank goodness for the actual weapons on... Oh, it's going to get there. No? Oh, saved by the bell. All right. We definitely do need another Puma, though. I think up there is the best place, I would say. What kind of damage output are you getting? 8.6k. Mine 4.2 over there as well. Another Bastion, another Scout. I wouldn't mind another Scout, actually. Okay, we've got the corner. All right, that actually makes this way more manageable for us. Way more manageable for us. All right. I would like to invest in increasing HP. And then more weapons on the... Well, actually, no. We'd probably go there as well. But ultimately, I want to get down here. Again, if you're going to invest in infantry, invest in infantry, damn it. There we go. We got to get up to $1,000 to make that happen. But we will. What I will do in the meantime, though, is I'm going to place down this building right here. And I'm going to try and increase you down to this one. We'll go for the cheaper options on each one, because if it chases the HQ gains plus 30% HP, 15% damage, and repair 5% per wave. And I'm just going to line them along here. They will largely only attack air targets, because those are pretty much the only things that are going to get there. So in a way, maybe I don't need another Puma. We'll see about that one, though. We'll see. Getting this wouldn't be terrible, or just the extra range at this point. While that is a little bit more expensive, I don't think it's a bad choice. We still haven't grabbed this yet, which I think we should, before I place down another one. There we are. Lots of slow, lots of flames, but they do pop into more units, which is a little bit of an issue, but they've gone all the way through here, so it's not going to be too much of a problem for my army to deal with, actually. Oh my goodness, they've got a lot of HP there. Right, let's continue moving through. Puma cost down, not really what I need. Warwolf improvements wouldn't be terrible. An extra Myriador. How many of them have we got? We've got 4, so I don't need any more. Actually, we'll go with the supply for this one, I think. Yeah, we'll grab that, and at this stage, I'm going to increase the range. And then we are going to get extra grenadiers. There we go. Locked in. Same on this side, I think. Yeah, and locked in. We're now up to 24 grenadiers per charge, which is actually enormous. Now, there are a couple of other things I could place. For example, I could do that if I really wanted to. I just don't particularly see a value to that yet. Actually, I could put you there, though. That wouldn't be terrible. Sure, let's lock that in just so you can see what it's like. This would increase its range, but it wouldn't change the minimum range, so it would just reach further. If you get this early enough, then that's worth it. Gain detection, extra damage, and an extra target, or adjacent buildings gain 10% damage, not useful to us, plus 75% damage, fire rate, and reload speed, or plus 300% damage. Well, not really things that we need to worry over much. We really want to get to the company commander, so right now, I think it's just lock in, let the game play through, see what we can do. We want all of the people on this charge. This is becoming increasingly a game of Snake. And I love it. While you have only one Durandal position, all buildings gain plus 5% damage. That's quite nice. Grenade offensive, plus 80 infantry HP, 8 grenadiers production, and all costs plus 30%. Ooh. There's only one battlefront. As I've mentioned, right now, every entry point here goes into the same entry point on the HQ. So there's only one battlefront, so that one isn't as useful. I think we go with this. Right, new threat spotted. Let's have a look. What are we playing with now? Right, Undying Onslaught. During the final wave, tier 1 foes gain extra 50% health. I am not a great fan. However, more input points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 100% extra damage coming out of you now. That is very nice. Very nice. And company command squad. There we go. We've got everything we promised we would get for our people. So at this point, we can spend freely, more or less. We'll increase the range a little bit. There we go. Shrapnel is probably one of the next things we go for. If we can get the height, we could do this, but unfortunately, we're just not seeing it. Maybe if I could get height 0 around here, I could maybe have that happen. If that squares height 0, wouldn't be the worst place to put something. Oh, adjacent buildings gain detection on 1 range. It's not really useful for us. Not all the way over here. All right, let's go. Huge charge. Let's actually look at the command squad. There we go. My lord. Oh, I like it. Take your sword. Perfect. This is glory. This is the power of flesh. Forget the secrets of steel. There is a greater power, and we wield it. Buildings gain plus 2% damage per entry point. Yes. No matter what else was going on, that would be the one for us to pick. That is far too good. Additionally, while that isn't the perfect location there, have I got a spot that is? Maybe over here, perhaps? I would love it to be... Oh, there. There we go. That will work quite nicely. Let's place you down. Now, I don't have the heavy bunker, but that's okay. I can still get 2 extra, and then I can... Oh, no, I won't be able to get the 5 extra. That is a big sad. Big sad, but, you know, we can still work down through here. Increase the HQ a little bit and add some more heavy weapons, perhaps, or just increase range. That is definitely an option. Right, as for you, I want extra slow. Go ahead. So much range on that now. And down over here, extra range, 1 target. Let's grab you. And then finally, I think we're going to go with... Actually, I think we'll go with advanced gear. Right, one more wave until the boss wave. We've never built the ammo depot. I'll go ahead and I'll build that just so we can see it in action, I think. Look at the range. That is absolutely bonkers. Glorious and bonkers. Puma is doing an amazing job over here. Actually, I should probably just upgrade you. Let's go with that. And again, and there. There we go. This stage. Yeah, I think our infantry charge is enough to deal with everything. Buildings adjacent to 4 other buildings. No. Yes, let's go with this. Increase the power of our Imperial bunker. And we could get a Durandal at this stage if I really wanted it. Not sure I do, though. What I do want, however, is to... Let's have a look. I could seal some of it off, but it's not actually that beneficial to me at this point. I do want more entry points. We've got 2 items over here. Exactly the same building. They are always the same if they look the same, as far as I can tell. Right, let's pop this down here then. Pump. At this stage, plus 50% damage per adjacent building. That seems like the obvious one. And adjacent buildings gain -1 range, plus 20% damage, and -20% cost. That doesn't help me really. But this is fine. Right, if we have a look in here. Bonus is increased by 5%. Adjacent buildings gain 20% damage and rate of fire. Let's increase the bonus because I don't think mine layers are really necessary now. We get an extra mine layer if we really want to do, or increase the damage even more. Let's go with that. And then bonus increased by 10%, or adjacent buildings get +2 range. Now that would be quite nice. Potentially. It isn't really useful for us anymore. Let's go ahead and pop you down there. And let's start the wave. Now, everything on the map is going to have an extra 50% HP. Which is not amazing for us, but it is what it is. We should still be able to punch through more or less everything, though, I think. Going to go with staging area. There we go. Even more range happening. Get an extra Puma. Right there. This stage I want just the extra damage. A lot more extra damage. And the better anti-air. Not that we really needed it. We were just spending points towards the end there. Alright. We've crushed wave 25. And we have unlocked a new doctrine. Plus 75% supply amounts in reinforcements. That's actually very nice. So that gives 175 instead of 100. Unless we took it a couple of times. Tier 2 doctrines are 6% more likely to appear. The tier of the doctrine is just down there. All right, that was actually really, really nice. Okay, there we go. Right, with that, let's have a look at the time. Do we have enough time for another one? Probably not. We're at an hour. I think that a full game will end on a win. But if there is interest in seeing more and perhaps different maps, different officers, then do let me know down in the comments. Specifically, if you have an interest in a specific officer or a specific map, I'm not going to go over each one. You can just tell me where they are in the lineup. Just choose based on how they look. That's never gone wrong in the history forever, not even once. But that is going to be it from me. Again, if you would like to see more Tower Dominion on the channel, or games like Tower Dominion on the channel, then you know how to let Saint Algorithmus and thus me know, and that is, of course, by massaging those lovely buttons down below. And if you want to pick the game up for yourself, you will find links in the video description. But that is going to be it from me and Tower Dominion for now. So until next time, do take care, everyone.